So success was not difficult for me, or at least that's what I thought, until I went to bed one night. I don't know if you remember this, but as a little boy, I can picture this so clearly. I was sitting there at night, and the old console box TV that would sit on the floor with the adjustments, right? The shag carpet, the paneling on the walls. And at 12 o'clock every night, the screen would go static. You would hear shh, and then you would hear this, I bring you this special announcement, interrupt you to bring you this special announcement, right? And I remember as a little boy, you're like, oh no, it's over. Like it's over for I got to go to bed now, right? And nobody wanted that, but there was a reset that needed to happen with the network, with the television, with the broadcast, and it just stopped you for a moment in your tracks. That night when I went to bed, thinking that on paper my life looked perfect, I had this gnawing feeling inside that it's not as clean on the inside as it looks on the outside. And that night I asked a question and I said, what is all this avail to? And I don't know what happened, man, but I woke up in the middle of the night and it was like out of a dead sleep. I literally saw, I don't know if it was a vision, premonition, I'm not sure what it was, but I saw a TV screen and I saw the static, the old box TV screen that I had as a little boy. And I saw that static. And then I heard the voice that said, I interrupt you to bring you the special announcement. And then the next words were somewhat terrifying, somewhat electrifying. Um, there was nervousness involved in the conversation, but it was also peace. And then I heard, son, welcome to the divine interruption. So I've been married for 23 years, have father of 4 children, been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, everything from real estate development. We flipped over 1,000 homes in the Atlanta market, got in the short-term rental space before that was really a big thing, buying broken down vacation homes, refinishing those for Airbnb and Vrbo, and found a lot of success in a season of my life with that. Ended up becoming a filmmaker as well. I was an actor in my early 20s, kind of walked away from the industry, never thought I was going to return. Ended up resurrecting a film company. And I'm proud to say we just finished our first motion picture film called Hershey that's coming out next year. So I'm also a filmmaker. I've got several other film projects, miniseries projects that I'm working on right now as well. At this reset, when I basically gave everything up, walked away from the real estate industry, trying to refine who I was, we ended up actually taking a journey from Atlanta, Georgia to Bardstown, Kentucky, the bourbon capital of the world, where my wife and I were featured on Magnolia Network on one of our episodes. And then we ended up doing some really special projects out here, bought a downtown building, built out a beautiful boutique shop for my wife in the front, a women's fashion boutique store called Caden Lake, named after our daughters. I built a really cool high-end cocktail emporium in the back called Liam Ash, named after our sons. We've got a penthouse apartment upstairs that we rent out on a regular basis. And then I think one of the coolest feats that I've accomplished over the last couple of years is we basically bought an abandoned Holiday Inn hotel right here in Bardstown, Kentucky, and did a really cool spin on a boutique bourbon hotel called the Trail Hotel that just recently opened up. So it's been a journey, man, and I've been busy. But I can tell you this, is that, in all that level of success, there were a lot of dark nights of the soul. There were a lot of moments that I didn't think I was measuring up, that I was enough to keep it moving. And I don't think we're talking enough about that, man. I believe that we're dreaming way too small as a society. And I think that the reality is that there's still something inside of us that self-sabotages the very thing that we're called to do. And I know that firsthand, because I did it for many, many years. And so I believe that this show is going to help us find a healthier balance on how we win in all areas of our life. I mean, it's one thing to be an entrepreneur. It's one thing to achieve success or have money in your bank. But if you're doing that alone, and you're doing that in broken relationships, or you're doing that with a broken soul, what does it all really avail to? Yeah, man. So you remember 2008, right? If you were in the real estate industry, you'll never forget that time. And I had built what I would consider somewhat of a real estate empire at the time. Things were moving well. Life was easy, right? I'd built up a little bit of credibility and success to the degree that we were safe and secure. And overnight, it was ripped out from under me. I mean, within a short window of seeing the market crash, I had to redefine who I really am, reinvent myself. I was working through deals that were falling apart. I was working for real estate situations that I was trying to close out with banks, and they were calling notes due. It led me to such a point of stress and fear and anxiety that I ended up having back-to-back lung collapses. So I spent 6 months bedridden after surgery, trying to I don't know if it was sit with a dark night of the soul, right? Where your wife's taking care of you. You're watching your savings account go literally to nothing while you're trying to figure out how you're going to even build up the courage to get back out and fight again, man. I mean, I'm pulling the arrows out of my back, right? And the battle shield is wounded, man. And I'm in the season where I'm going, I've got to change out armor and I've got to get back out there. But it was in that season that everything inside of me was shaken. Everything was challenged. Who I really am, what I really am, what's this world really about? Do I even have the stamina to get back out there and fight again? Can I reinvent myself? And I decided that that divine interruption in my life was for the good, man. And I had to make a choice. And so I put the armor back on. I told my wife we had about $5,000 left to our name. And I said, I've got to get back out there. And I went, I got a job at a roofing company, and within several months, I was the top salesman on the team and did that for another 14 months while the market recovered itself. And that did something for me, man. I mean, that season really showed me that there's more inside of me than what I even thought was capable. But it also transitioned me into a new place of surrender, where it wasn't just the weight on my shoulders anymore that I had to carry, that there was a divine power above me and outside of me and in me that was going to co-labor with me in a new way to make things more settled and balanced in my life. And so that's what we did, and so I feel like, man, that the reason this podcast is important to me is because I can relate to every man out there that carries the weight of an entrepreneur, carries the weight of a father, a husband. I don't know how many can relate to this, but I know even me as a father, right? I was there physically, but I wasn't there emotionally. I wasn't always there mentally, right? Because I was carrying so much stress of what it looks like to keep the businesses going, to keep the payroll going, to keep the employee salaries moving. And all while doing that, dealing with marriage, right? Dealing with the struggles of, a wife who needs you in a certain capacity that you don't feel like you can give anymore, right? And so it was the balance of all these things, man. And so it was what I would call that divine interruption again. It was the interruption, maybe before the interruption even, that kind of broke me down to the point where there was a surrender in process, man. But I realized that we can reinvent ourselves. We can become a healthier version of ourselves. And we can do it in a balanced way to where we win in every area of our life, right? That the brand continues to increase, right? The brand excels, but the soul excels as well.